tell you the story of the kiss bet. Preview. It's senior year and Sara Lynn just turned 18. She's got great friends, a very cool dad, or so thanks, and a whole lot ahead of her. The last thing she needs is to worry about having her first kiss. But that's all about to change because her pal Patrick just challenged her to a bet that will either lead to love, heartbreak or embarrassment, or all three. Patrick was singing loudly, "Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday dear." While Patrick was singing loudly, Sara and her friend Sai walked by. When Sara saw that Patrick was singing loudly, so said Sara to the Patrick, "Patrick, will you stop yelling? It's the middle of the night." Patrick spoke, "Happy birthday dear Sara. Happy birthday to you." Sara said, "I'm gonna go crazy." Sara told her friend Sai. "He's been singing the whole night." Some people walking along the road said, "You kids should keep it down, you're singing too loud." Patrick said, "Sorry sir, it's my friend's birthday." Sara said to Sai, "Oh my god, embarrassing." Sai asked Sara, "Can you believe you're finally 18 Sara?" Sara said, "Nothing changed, it's just a number." Sai said, "I just can't believe it. It's like you're an adult." Patrick sneered after listening to them. "An adult? Ha ha ha. Little Sara looks like an innocent baby girl. Never even kissed a boy." Sara spoke angrily. "Patrick, shut up." Sai said, "Well, it's kinda truth a lie. Sara, your senior year is halfway done." Sai said, "You'll have to go over it one day." Sara spoke, "Vicky. Are you talking about Vicky?" "Oh Sai, stop reminding me about that. Worst cousin ever. Besides, it's not like I can control that kind of thing." "Leave it." Patrick said, "I just haven't had that kind of opportunity yet. Otherwise." "So," Sara spoke, "you're saying all you need is an opportunity and you'll just do it." Patrick said to Sara, "You want an opportunity? I can give you an opportunity right now." Sara asked Patrick angrily, "What do you mean? That you mean? You want to just..." Patrick said, "Oh no such thing. Girl, I am talking about a bet. The kiss bet. Why would you even, ha ha ha." Sara said, "Then be more clear. You're the one standing so close all over my face." "Shut up and listen to me carefully," said Patrick. Patrick said, "Shush, listen up. Are you ready for a kiss bet? I bet you $5 you wouldn't go up and ask that guy if you can kiss him." Sara asked in surprise, "What do you mean, Patrick? What? Who is the guy? Where is? Who are you talking about?" Patrick said, "I'm not talking about himself. I'm talking about that sleeping dude right there. Some random stranger." Sara said, "Oh, yeah, do you think I'm crazy?" "I'm mad. I'm not crazy. That I should come to your talk, and the two for $5. Understand, Mr. Patrick? Are you kidding or your brain is damaged? What are you eating tonight?" No. I will not do that." Patrick says, "Let me give you another offer. Fine, you go up. I'll give you $60 right now." Sara says, "Are you mad? Why do I do this? Why do I do this? I have no need for your $60. Patrick laughs and says, "Hey Sara, I knew you couldn't." Sai said to Sara, "Gone." Sara agrees to Sai's request and accepts the challenge of Patrick. And gone to complete the bet. When Patrick saw that it was gone, he got terrified. Patrick said to Sai, "Oh my god. Sara is really gone. What will happen now? She's doing it. I was just joking." Sai said, "What kind of joke is that? How do you joke? You are a very strange person." Sara did not understand how to do this. Sara was very nervous because it was all new to her. Sara Lynn started thinking about how to do it all. Sara thought, "I told her that. We're matching shoes. And your shoes look exactly like mine. Oh my god, what am I thinking? This is a very embarrassing job. So I can't do this." When Patrick saw that she couldn't do it all, he jumped for joy and said, "You gonna lose, chicken." Sai said, "You can do it, Sara." Sara decided, "I can't lose to that stupid Patrick." Sara thought to herself, "There is no way. Oh, I got this. Just go and wake him up. It's easy." Sara think, "Oh, what am I doing?" Sara looked at the boy. Sara was surprised to see this boy. Oh, he's kinda cute. Viewers, if you like this video, please like it and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Sara was also afraid and confused. Sara says to herself, "I will go to this boy and wake him up." Patrick and Sai were looking at what Sara was doing. Sara continued thinking and planning. Oh no. Sara addressed the boy in fear. Can I? Water was being wasted, and the handsome boy was wandering in Sara's mind. Oh gosh. Sara was inwardly reminiscing about the kiss and worried that it shouldn't have happened. When I said that, can I kiss you? Oh Sai. Why did this happen? The boy gets shocked hearing Sara's words and wakes up. And speaks. Excuse me. What happened? Sara quickly backs away nervously and says, I guess that's a no. Sara's foot gets entangled with the boy's due to the sudden backsliding and Sara collapses. The boy asks Sara worried. What the heck? Of course not, you weirdo. A weirdo. Sara felt so bad that he called me weird. Oh my god. Why? What a shame. That's what Sara is thinking. Suddenly Sara's dad's voice is heard. You know Sara, you've been washing the same dish for the last 5 minutes. It's 7:10 a.m. You're gonna be late to school, Sara Lynn. Oh my gosh. Dad said, stop washing the dish. Go. And make sure you tell all your friends how cool your dad is. Sara said dad. Slam. As Sara leaves the house, Patrick stands in front and the song is singing. Hear that silly ol' dad. Sara was also humming a song when she met Patrick. Patrick said, good morning Sara. Sara said, Patrick, what are you doing here so early in the morning? Patrick said, I'm an early bird. What can I say? Anyways, how would you sleep? Did you have good dreams? I just came to pick you up. Sara said, what? You never done this before. Sara and Patrick were talking with another when Mr. Young locked the room and turned to look at them both. Sara spoke. Oh, good morning Mr. Young. Mr. Young stepped forward and Patrick spoke. Oh, you know what? That I'm here, you might as well pay me for last night's bet. Sara spoke. Wait, what? Patrick. Patrick was laughing. Ha ha ha. Sara spoke. That's the reason you're here, you punk. And don't talk about this in front of people. If you tell anyone, I will snap your neck. Okay, let's go, we're gonna be late to school. Very hurry up, Patrick said. But Sara, the money. Sara spoke. No, we're late. Go. And both reach school early. And they go to their place in the classroom and sit. The teacher came into the classroom and he told the students blah blah something blah blah blah, totally unimportant stuff. And remember that students, blah blah blah. It's gonna be on your test. Sara was not able to solve the question and was getting worried. Oh see, I really wish I cared. Sara was thinking about all this when her classmate asked, hey Sara. I heard you almost had your first kiss last night. Sara spoke angrily. Tammy, why in the world would you bring that up here? Tammy answered, 'Cause it's your first projection. I even heard he called you a weirdo. And Patrick sat back with his hands over his mouth laughing. Sara Lynn held her head and spoke. Oh my god, Tammy, how do you even know about Tammy spoke? Patrick told me. Another girl spoke. Be quiet Sara Lynn, no one cares about your kissing. I can't focus. In this case, the teacher speaks. Sara, are you talking during my lecture again? Why don't you meet me after class? After the class ends, Sara Lynn timidly goes to the teacher's office. The teacher tells Sara about her progress. Sara, are you aware of your grades this semester? It's your senior year and you are failing calculus class. Sara answered the teacher. Why? Yeah, it's always hard for me. The teacher said to Sara, I can recommend a student tutor for you to meet after school. Would you have time next week? Sara Lynn said, yeah, it's okay, sir. The teacher said, his name is Oliver. He's a new student in the school but has excellent recommendations. Okay. After 1 week. When Sara doesn't reach home on time, Sara gets a call from her dad after school. Dad, will you stop yelling? I already told you I got a tutor, so it's gonna be okay. Sara is happy to be free from tuition. Yeah, I'm on my way home. Okay, see you soon. Bye. Sara walks home in a tired mood and talks to herself in her mind. I can't believe this is a tutor. Why do I have to be so stupid? I freaking hate school. And now more school after school. What a problem. Can I cry? Is this a good time to cry? Sara was walking while thinking that suddenly Sarah's eyes fell on someone's shoes on the road. Oh, those shoes. The shoes are exactly the same as the shoes that this handsome boy wore. Wait a second, is this the same boy? The boy is busy talking to someone on the phone. As soon as the boy starts to turn back, Sara panics. And panicked, it immediately jumped into nearby plants. The boy hears the sound of something falling, he looks back and nothing on the road. So the boy walks forward, talking on the phone. Sara secretly keeps an eye on this boy. What the heck is that subway boy doing here? He's walking into my apartment building. Sara jumps out of the plants and runs quickly towards the building. What is going on? Maybe he found out where I live. The boy rides the elevator and goes to the top floor. Yeah, right. This has to be a joke. Sara runs from the stairs to the upper floor and hides behind the door to see the boy. Which apartment is he going to? The boy opens the door of the apartment opposite Sara's apartment and walks in. Sara comes out crying from behind the door. It's too bad. Oh sigh, what should I do now? I don't understand anything. Crying, Sara opens the apartment door and goes inside. Sara was typing a blog about the title of The Subway Boy Is My Neighbor. And Sara wrote at the end of the blog, and just like Sara Lynn never left her house again. The end. Sara said to herself, does anyone even read these? I should not waste my time. I should do my homework. Sara's dad's voice is heard. Sara, my daughter. Your cousin Vicky's at the door. Sara said herself. Why is she here? I can't leave my room ever again, Dad. We have been over this. And Sara opened the door. As soon as the door opens, Vicky stands in front. Vicky says, seeing Sara, oh hi Sara. You have been sounding a bit desperate in your online blog, so I brought you food. Sara said, that was quick. I literally just uploaded. Sara's dad asked in surprise, you have an online blog? Sara said, hurry Vicky, get in. Do you want me to be found out? Vicky spoke, geez Sara. Calm down, I can't even stay. I still have to finish deliveries for the restaurant. Sara said, oh, okay, very cool. See you. Thanks for the yummy food, bye. Vicky said as she buttoned her helmet. You know you gotta eventually leave the house Sara. Might even be good for you to run into the subway boy. Sara's father was listening to both of them, so he asked who the subway boy. Sara said, no one Dad. Vicky, Vic says she's gotta go. Bye Vicky. Vicky said, bye Sara. Sara was secretly going to her room when her father said from behind. Hey Sara, send me the link to your blog. Next morning, Sara said to Patrick, did you finish your homework? Patrick said, you were home all weekend and didn't even do homework. Sara said, oh I was busy. Now you give me this copy of your homework. Hey Patrick, give me the copy. Patrick gripped the copy tighter. Patrick said, that'll be $50. 'Cause you still owe me, remember? Sara said, are you kidding me? Patrick said, oh sorry madam. Did you wanna up that to $75? Sara got angry and threw the dollars in Patrick's face. And took Patrick's copy and started doing homework fast. Patrick sat next to Sara and began to chatter and talk to himself. And started mocking to Sara. Patrick spoke himself, I should start my own business. Sara said, shut up. Patrick spoke himself again, who can I bet you to kiss next? Sara gets angry and knocks Patrick off the chair. And said to Patrick, will you quit talking about that? Can't you see it's a sensitive topic? Sara said herself, that guy even called me a weirdo. And the voice of the teacher come. Okay students, let the begin study. Oh by the way, we have a new student. You wanna introduce yourself? Sara looked up while writing and spoke softly. Yeah, sure. New student spoke, hi everyone. Sara started thinking. She thought it was Subway Boy. New student spoke, hey I'm Joseph. Please just call me Joe. Sara said to herself, Joe. Wow he's cute. As soon as they saw the new student, all the girls in the class felt love for this boy. Sara also felt love for Joe. After the introductions, Joe moved to the next chair from Sara and said hi to Sara. Sara replied, hi. Sara said to herself, oh my god. Dimples. He's sitting right in front of me. Oh I'm so lucky why. Sara was lost in Joe's thoughts when Patrick hit Sara from behind with a piece of paper. Sara looks back angrily and says what happened. Patrick said, gimme back my homework. Sara said, okay. After school, Patrick said to Sara, are you coming to karaoke? Sara said, I forgot that's today. No, I can't, I'm getting tutored tonight. Patrick said, on a Friday. Sara said, Patrick, it's Tuesday. Patrick said, oh come on, even Tammy's coming, and she never comes to anything. Come on, we have been planning this all week, Sara Lynn. Just reschedule, come on, Sara thinks. Patrick is so tempted. Sara said, I can't Patrick, it's too late, it's right now, I gotta go, bye. When Sara arrives for tuition, she finds a message written on a piece of paper. Sara says to herself after reading the message, there it is, 12B. As Sara goes to the room, she is shocked. Sara gets nervous seeing Subway Boy sitting in the room. Sara says, no. The Subway Boy. Sara stopped and said to herself, why do I keep running into this guy? No way, I must be in the wrong room. Sara sends a text message to the phone number written on the paper. Hi, this is Sara Lynn, are we still meeting in room 12B? Sara receives a text message reply. Yeep, I'm here already. See you soon. Sara says to herself, oh boy, what now? I guess I should just go in and face my consequences. I can do this. Knock knock. Hi. When Sara and her father were having breakfast, Sara's father noticed. Sara is still sleeping. Sara is not even having breakfast because of sleep. Sara's dad asked, when did you go to bed last night? Sara spoke in her sleep. Hun. Yeah, sure dad. Her dad spoke. That's not the question I asked. Were you not late with that boy, Patrick again? You know I don't like you hanging out too much with that boy. Understand, Sara said. It's fine. We were just out eating dinner. Her dad said, what happened with all those girlfriends you used to hang out with at school? Jane, Tammy, Bon. Sara asked, who the heck's Bon? Her dad said, you know the little round magician girl. Sara said, what Lulu? Dad, that wasn't even close it. Her dad said himself, plus she's gone to the dark side. Her dad said, well whatever, I think you can do so much better than Patrick for a boyfriend. Sara said, oh dad, what the heck, I'm not dating Patrick, and Sara coughed. Her dad said, I'm just saying. Sara said, besides, I already know he's not even interested, okay? Her dad said, how do you know that? Sara said, he said so himself, okay. Oh gosh. Her dad said, well good. After breakfast, Sara said, okay, I'm leaving for school, bye. Okay dad, tell me about the Bon, I'll say hi. Her dad said, you are ridiculous. Lol. As Sara opens the door to the outside, the Subway Boy is walking out of his apartment. As seeing him, Sara closes her door. Her dad asked, did you forget something? Sara said, oh no, I just gotta wait for a second. Her dad asked, why? Sara said, okay bye dad. Slam. Sara reached her school and her teacher said to Sara, read the story you have written. Sara reads from her notebook. The seemingly interminable war was won. The prodigiously prolonged battle had finally permanently ended. At last what they had waited all along from the very beginning had finally taken place. But all of this monumental effort. At what cost? The end. All the students clap. Sara said, oh thank you for clapping. Teacher said, very nice, a very nice vocabulary Sara. And Joe said to Sara, well done. Rose and Patrick feel bad seeing Sara talking to the Joe. Rose said to teacher, I have an announcement. Teacher said, go ahead Rose. Rose spoke, hi everyone. As you all know, I'm the new president of the newspaper club, so because the school festival is coming up at the end of this month. Mari and I are looking for new members to join so we can document all these experiences. Patrick said, oh Rose, who even reads the newspaper nowadays? Another boy spoke, I used it the other day. As toilet paper. All the students laughed. Ha. Rose said, you guys are idiots. And Patrick, you don't know what you're talking about. Lots of students rely on our news and messages. Patrick said, like who? Your mom. Rose said, that's it Patrick, you're banned from joining. Patrick said, no way, please say it isn't so. Rose said, shut up Patrick. Geez, and Patrick said alright fine. Rose said, anyways, anyone else interested in joining? But that isn't Patrick. Joe said, me, I'll join. Rose said, great, thanks Joe. Anyone else? Sara think and said herself, is this my moment? Sara said herself. Oh no, what am I doing? Mari said. Okay, so that's Joanne. All the girls in the class. Sara asked. What? Why? Rose spoke. We can't have all the girls in the class. That's too many. All girls says. No fair. Joe spoke. If you don't mind, could I make a suggestion? Patrick was muttering at this. Mari spoke. What a great idea, Joe. Joe said. Maybe everyone could apply by submitting a simple essay. I think that could narrow it down. Mari said. Brilliant. Fantastic, Joe. Sara said herself. An essay, wow. Patrick said to Sara. Sue. Are you joining that stupid club, then? Sara said. Are you kidding? No freaking way. Patrick said. Why? Isn't this your chance to get closer to Joe? I thought that was your new goal in life. Sara was very surprised to hear Patrick's words. Patrick said, what happened? Sara said, you could have said it's because I'm a good writer. Patrick said, oh, yeah, and that. Sara said, nah, that's not my kind stuff. Okay, bye. Patrick said, chicken. Sara said, okay, bye Patrick. Sara said herself, stupid Patrick, who you calling chicken? Rose said to Joe, yeah Joe, you can just sign up right here. Joe said, you sure? Rose, don't I need to apply first? Rose said, no, it's fine. You can even be in charge of receiving the other applications. Joe said, really, you think that'd be okay? Rose said to Joe, smiling happily. Of course, you're so silly. Ha ha ha. Sara said to herself, oh, I guess I really am a chicken. Wouldn't ever dare to cross Rose's path. Rose said to Joe, let's go. Sara went to the notice board and saw what Rose and Joe were looking at. Sara thought, there's Joe's phone number. In the girls' bathroom. Sara, why, hello, there. Is this Joseph? Joseph, it's me, Sara Lynn. Yeah, I heard you're doing auditions for the club. Sara, wait, it's not auditions. What is it? Sara, I'm calling to let you know I'm joining the newspaper club. Where do I sign? Pissed. Sara was talking to herself. She spoke after hearing someone's voice. Ah, who's there? A voice came from inside the bathroom. I sense your distress, Sara, it's about a boy. Do you want me to read your fortune? I can help you get your man. Sara said, oh, it's you, Lululemon. You scared me. Oh, come on in. Sara thinks I guess at this point I need all the help I can get if I want to join that club. Okay. Sara goes inside. Lululemon said, you shouldn't be afraid of joining a new club, Sara Lynn. Sara thinks, where the heck's the toilet? Wait, how do you know I? Lululemon said, there's someone new that has just started seeking interest in you. Beware, this might be trouble. Sara said, what, trouble? Who? Is it Joe? Lululemon said, or, it could also mean, it'll be awesome. Sara asked, which one is it? Lululemon said, this one says, stay away from the new kid, he's no good for you. Sara asked, where does it say that? It's just a moon. And which new kid? Is it Joe? Subway boy, he's also new. Lululemon said, and an N. Yeep, just as I thought. Sara asked in surprise, what? Is it Joe again? Subway boy, P. Patrick. Lululemon said, you're gonna die. Sara asked in surprise, what? Lululemon said, oh no, sorry. I always mess this one up. It says, someone will try to steal yo man. Sara spoke angrily. What the heck? Who? I have no idea what any of these mean. Can you be just a bit more specific? Lululemon, go in peace, child. Your fortune has been read. Wait, you. May the wind of the east combine with the one of the west. May you have better outcomes than your terrible fortunes. Oh my gosh. Slap. Now, get out of my stall. You're gonna be late for tutoring. Lululemon kicked the Sara. Sara said, whatever. I don't believe any of this weird hocus pocus anyways. Thanks for nothing, Bon. Sara collides with a boy. Bump. Boy said, oh, I'm so sorry about that. Sara, ow, who? Sorry about that. Sara spoke, oh my gosh, SSS sorry. Boy spoke, are you okay? Sara said, I'm good. Boy said, good. Sara said, okay, bye. Sara quickly leaves from there. The boy watches Sara leave in surprise. Sara hides behind the wall and cries and thinks in her heart. Now he probably thinks I'm a weirdo, too. After school, Patrick is sitting in room number 12B. Patrick is watching something on the mobile. Sara also goes and sits next to Patrick. Sara asks the Patrick, should I also draw a unibrow? Patrick reply, oh my god, yeah, and then you can also wear a fake mustache. And then bunny ears. He will never know. Sara said, okay, fine, I get it. Patrick spoke, so, how long are you gonna pretend you're not the creepy girl from the subway? Not that I care, or whatever. Sara said, listen, I will eventually, okay. But I just, not today, okay. Patrick said, like, I just embarrassed myself in front of Joe, too. But I'm gonna tell him okay. I will, like, it's not that easy. You don't even Sara, calm down, you don't have to do it if you don't want. Sara said, no, listen, I will tell him, okay. And then I will apologize. Patrick said, okay. Sara said, and it'll be incredibly awkward, but I will do it because it's the right thing to do, okay? Patrick laughed and said, ha ha uk, good luck, girl. Sara said, Patrick, why are you being like this? I'm gonna tell him, okay. Patrick said, okay, fine, not sure why you're making such a big deal out of this, but I like it. Do you want to turn this into another bet that I will win? Sara said, okay, deal. Patrick said, although, I will win. There was a knock at the door. Both Patrick and Sara are shocked. Seeing the subway boy, Sara put her scarf over her face. Even the subway boy was a bit surprised to see the two sitting. And spoke, we still starting at 5:20. Patrick, who was sitting on the teacher's seat, quickly got up and said, yeep, I was just on my way out. Sara spoke, yeah, Patrick said to the subway boy as he left. Oh, and I'm so pleased to meet Sara Lynn's tutor. And you know, she's such a good girl. And totally not weird, but I'm sure you already know that. Okay, bye. And to Sara he said with a gesture, hope you fail, and he went away with mouthing. Sara was surprised. Patrick, that idiot. The subway boy sits on the chair and says, alright, let's start. Sara lowers the cloth from her face and says, oh, Oliver, before we start, can I, talk to you about something? The subway boy looked at Sara and said, don't you have a test next week? Can it wait till, after we study? Okay, let's go over lesson 13 again. Pull out your book. Did you do the homework I assigned? Let me know if you have any questions. Let's begin here. This process is very complicated, so you have listened. Sara said to herself, gah, stupid subway boy, you're making this way more difficult. But if you want to worry about stupid things like studying first, then, fine. Go ahead, let's study. Bring it on, subway boy. I love studying. Okay, but at the end of this session, just you wait, I will tell you everything. Just after you shut up and. Subway boy speaks. Hello, are you here? Sara is shocked. Asks the subway boy, are you listening, Sara? What are the 4-second derivatives? Sara gets nervous. The what? Subway boy said, here, of becomes 4-second derivative. See it, it's right here. You have to focus, Sara. After studying for a long time, the subway boy says, okay, then any final question? Sara said, no. Subway boy said, okay, well, do lesson 19 for homework, and I'll see you tomorrow. Sara said, okay, bye. Subway boy said, oh, and what did you want to talk about? Sara said, oh, nothing, never mind. Gotta go. Sara said herself, stupid subway boy. Someday you'll pay for all my bet money you make me lose. Meg said, Mom's gonna be pissed, Oliver. Oliver said, that's fine, I'll come visit. Meg said, and you already enrolled at Joe's school and everything. Oliver said, yeep, it's all set up, Meg. Meg said, and you're not even coming to Mom's wedding, like, at all. Oliver said, no, Meg, stop, I'm not gonna stand there like an idiot watching Mom marry the jerk. Meg said, Oliver, you just gotta give him a chance. Dave's a hard-working man, Plus, he has, like, a car and. Oliver said, okay. Bye. Meg said, you're not even gonna catch the last train. Oliver said, yes I will, it leaves at 12:10. Call me if you need anything. Bye. Oliver arrives at the station and waits for the train. And Oliver listens to music on his cell phone. Oliver's eyes suddenly open as he listens to the song. Can I kiss you? Hearing this, Oliver's eyes full opened. Excuse me. I guess that's a no. Oliver. What the heck? Of course not, you weirdo. Sai said loudly. Run away. The three ran away and boarded the train. And the train door closes. Oliver watches all this in amazement. And as Oliver watches, his train misses. Missing the train makes Oliver very upset. Oliver thought, what the heck was that all about? Can I kiss you? Freaking weirdo. Wait a second. Crap. That was the last train. It also starts raining. Oliver has to walk to his apartment in the rain. Oliver knocked the door. Joe opened the door and asked him. Hey, why are you so late? Oliver said, I missed the last train. Mom's been freaking out more ever since you left. Joe said, what, really? I should probably give her another call. Did you say goodbye to Mom? She knows you're coming here, right? Oliver is feeling tired. Oliver told Joe. Meg said she'd take care of it. Joe said, Oliver, I thought you were gonna tell her. Now she's gonna freak out even more when she finds out you're gone too. Oliver said, maybe she'll finally reconsider marrying that jerk. Good, I don't care. Joe said, okay. Let's go to bed. You say hi to Dad tomorrow. Next morning, Oliver opens the door to his apartment to go to school. At the same time, Sara is also leaving the apartment. Oliver is surprised to see Sara. Oliver said himself, it's the girl from the subway. She lives here. Is she sleepwalking? What a weirdo. This is just fantastic. Later, after Oliver's first day at his new school. Oliver, since your file says you were a tutor at your previous school, we can give you a couple of students right away. Oliver said, thank you. I really appreciate that. In charge said, no problem. This one's for calculus. Here's the student file. When Oliver looks at the student file, Sara's description appears at the top of list. Oliver is shocked when he sees Sara's picture. Oliver said himself, it's the subway girl again. What is going on? Oliver read description and said himself, why do I keep running into her after that awkward incident? First my mom and now this. This is just my luck. You ready for lunch, Sara? Sara said, yep, let's go, I'm so hungry. I can't wait, I'm gonna stuff my face. And then I'm gonna eat all your food like a pig, too. I don't even. Patrick said, Sara, look behind you. Sara spoke. What? Oh my god. Sara quickly hides behind Patrick. Patrick asks, you didn't tell him. Sara said, just hide me for a second. Everyone is busy talking to their friends. Oliver is walking alone. Sara tell the Patrick, hey, that guy's my math tutor I was telling you about. A girl saw Oliver and spoke. He's so freaking smart. Helped me pass my last test with an A+. And he's cute, too. Sara said, yeah, right. He's not good. He's mean. Patrick said, well, maybe if you would have talked to him like you said you would. Sara said, fine. There's your stupid bet dollar. Only $3 cause it's all got left. Patrick said, it's okay. I feel kinda bad now. Sara said, man, just look at this view. How's he so perfect? You know what, Patrick? I've been thinking about this a lot. I think I would love someone like Joe to be my first kiss. Patrick said, you're so cliché. Who cares? Just kiss whoever. What does it even matter? Sara said, what? I'm not gonna kiss whoever. Why do you think I've been saving it for so long? Patrick spoke. Saving it for so long. Yeah, I'm sure it's been such a struggle rejecting all those who've tried. Listen, it's really not that hard to kiss someone. Watch. Tammy. Just come closer. Pull in. Tommy slaps Patrick. Tammy cried and left saying this. Patrick is a big fat pig. Sara said, you know that's sexual harassment, right? Patrick said, wow, that freakin' hurt. Sara said, you deserve it, haha. Everyone made fun of Patrick. Grow up, Patrick. Another said, Patrick being weird again. Other said, I think he's kinda cute. Patrick said angrily to everyone. What? I heard that. Plus I was. Only kidding. Sara said. Stop making a scene. Patrick said. Okay, fine. That didn't go as planned. But you get the drift. Sara said. No, I do not want my first kiss to just be a random thing to get over with. What's wrong with me wanting it to be with someone I love? Patrick said. You watch way too many chick flicks. It's setting unrealistic expectations. It really doesn't matter that much. Plus, I guarantee you, most guys don't think about it like that. Sara said. Whatever, Patrick. Just 'cause you don't believe in love doesn't mean that I'm not gonna have my perfect first kiss. I bet Joe is just a perfect gentleman. Just look at him. He's totally the perfect candidate for my first kiss. He just looks like he cares, you know. Sai, just let me enjoy this view. Patrick said. Okay. So, like, you're saying Joe will just fall in love with you and then just kiss you. Just like that, even though you've never even talked to the guy. Sara said. Well, it's not very easy when he's that hot, you know. But I'm sure with time he can slowly but surely get to know me as a person and realize. ... Deep down, how funny, cute, smart, sensitive, beautiful, funny and gorgeously charming I can really be. Patrick laughed and said, huh, right, we both know that'll never happen. You're too chicken, and not that charming. Sara said, what? No I'm not, and yes I am. Patrick said, yes, you're Sara, you're such a chicken. You can barely mutter a hello to him. You couldn't even tell Subway Boy the truth. There's no way you could ever in a million years engage Joe in a real conversation. Sara said, what? Yes, I can. Patrick said, sorry Sara, but I know you too well. I mean it's okay. It's just who you are. A chicken and weirdo. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I like chicken you know. It's delish. Sara said, Patrick, I kill you. Stop. Patrick said, what? It's not my fault that you're a weirdo, chicken. Shut up Patrick. No I'm not. No I'm not. Patrick said, yes, you are. Sara said, no I'm not. Patrick said, yes, just face it. Sara said, oh no. Patrick said, face it, Sara Lynn. Sara said, no, shut up. You wanna bet, you little poop. Patrick said, bring it on, sista. How much am I making today? Sara said, no more money. This time the loser has to do the other's homework for a whole week. Patrick said, are you serious? You don't even do your own homework. Sara said, okay deal. Patrick said, wait, hey, where are you going? Sara said, I have till the end of tomorrow. Needs to go prepare mentally. Patrick said, that dork, you never win. ... I guess I should probably cool it with the bets. Joe was sitting alone and thinking. Sara thought, and said to herself, come on, Sara, you can do this. Just a quick lil tippy tap. Patrick was watching Sara. Sara can't do anything and is nervous. Gym class begins. Sara said to herself, okay, now is my chance. Yo you wanna be, Rose says to Joe, hey, Joe, wanna be my partner? Joe said, sure. Patrick laughs at the sight. Ha ha ha. After school, Sara cries, and said to herself, and just like that he's gone. Patrick said himself, man, I really thought this one be the one. How am I so good at winning all these bets? Ha seriously, girl. I have to pick up a new hobby this week. What am I supposed to do with all this free time now that you'll be doing all my homework? Sara hit him and said, get off me. Patrick said, Sara, why are you so violent? Sara said, why do you think? And Sara reached room 12B and said herself, stupid Patrick. It's his fault my life is a complete disaster. I'm so mad. Sara nervously knocks on the door and goes inside the room and sits on her chair. Oliver asks, what happened to your glasses? Sara said, they broke. Oliver said, yeah, cool, okay. Let's start. Sara said to herself, fine, whatever. and closed her eyes. Oliver noticed the Sara and asked her, "Oh so did you do your homework?" Sara dropped her head on the table. And Sara said, "Don't talk to me about homework. This week's gonna suck." Oliver thought, "Now what I do?" He guessed that's a no. Sara said, "Hasn't it ever happened to you where you had an opportunity right in your hands? Multiple times. But because you're an idiot you just let it go." Oliver said, "Oh, no." Sara said, "I mean, what the heck is wrong with me? I totally could have just talked to him. And now, since I'm a freaking chicken, I have to do double work. Double. And worst of all, it's always me who gets myself into these kind of situations. No one else is to blame here but me. My life sucks." After listening to the full story of Sara, Oliver said, "Are you done?" Sara lifts up her head and looks at Oliver. And said, "Don't you have a heart? Really? I mean, what's wrong with you? Are you a robot? Since the first day I met you all I hear from you is calculus. You don't even bother to say a simple, hello, or, how was your day? It's all just math. And you're rude. And I know you don't like me, I get it. But honestly, you annoy the heck out of me too. Half the time I have no idea what the heck you're talking about." Oliver said, Hold on. You do know I'm not getting paid to come hang out with you, right? I'm just supposed to help you understand calculus. And it's already proving to be a very difficult task with you." Sara said, "Maybe it's 'cause you suck as a tutor. Did you ever think about that? Also you need to work on your people skills 'cause you suck there too. At least ask me how I'm doing or if I'm understanding. Maybe worry about the reason behind why I actually struggle so much with calculus. Maybe if you're nicer you'll discover I'm actually a math genius maybe. Or not." Oliver thinks something and said, "Okay, alright. Fine. How was your day? Can you please explain to me why you are so upset right now, please?" Sara looks at Oliver and said, "I'm not gonna tell you. I don't even know you." Oliver waits for a while and stands up from his chair. And picks up his book and mobile from the table. And starts going out wearing his bag. Seeing all this, Sara says to herself, "What have I done?" Sara said to Oliver, Wait, I'm so sorry. I'm the worst. I didn't mean any of that. Kind of. I was just angry at someone else. It's not your fault. Sorry. Please don't leave. I need you. I mean, to pass math." Oliver stops and sits down again and said, "Okay." Sara quickly opens a book and says, Okay. Good. Chapter 18. Right? Let's do this. I actually love math." Oliver said, "Wait." Sara gets nervous. Oliver looks at Sara and, "You know Vicky, I was actually thinking how fun it is now that Sara's always busy with tutoring. 'Cause this way we can talk behind her back and make fun of her and stuff." "Okay, you go first." Vicky said. That's pretty funny, Patrick. But I can't. I'm in the middle of my shift. Here's your food." Patrick said. "Oh, come on. Sit down, take a break. Why do you think I ordered so much food? Oh, this looks good. Okay, fine. I'll go first. It's just too funny. Since the subway incident I keep betting Sara to do dumb things and she keeps falling for it every time. Even just today, I got her to do my homework for a whole week 'cause she was too chicken to just go and talk to her new crush, Joe." Vicky sits on a chair and said, "Oh, she's got a new crush." Patrick said, "Yeah, it's a new transfer student. All the dumb girls in our class are in love with him. Anyways, I'm honestly just trying to help her. Everything I keep betting her to do are things she already wants to do but is too chicken to do it. I thought maybe if I add pressure to it she'd actually do things." Vicky said, "That, or you just want her money." Patrick said, "Hey, money is money. Vicky said, "So, what about that new transfer? What about him? Does he feel like enough competition for you to finally get the guts to fight for her? Patrick said. No, no, no. Don't smile like you know something. I'm chewing. Why are you asking me something stupid like that? Vicky said. Well, sometimes you talk about her. A lot. Patrick said. Yeah, so, what else am I supposed to talk with you about? Your cousins. Vicky said. I mean, you come all the way to my restaurant to talk about Sara. It's cool, I like Sara, too, but like, why? I know we were kind of used to her crushing on you for the longest time. Then suddenly over the summer break it looks like she's just completely over you. I mean, that must have done something to you, right? What, is she not giving you enough attention anymore? Patrick said. Sheesh. Dude, chill out. I was just annoyed at her, that's all. Why does everyone keep asking me that? Sara and I are just friends and we are okay with that. Why does everybody feel like they can just come in and make us happen? We're not a thing and it's not gonna happen, and it's okay. Vicky said. Well, why not? What's wrong with Sara? Patrick said. Nothing's wrong with Sara. She's great. I've just never thought of her like that, you know. Besides, what's wrong with just waiting to be friends? Dating just ruins friendship and it sucks. Vicky said. Well, I guess you never know. Feelings might develop now that you've got some competition. Patrick said. Gosh, Vicky, why you gotta bring up weird subjects while I'm trying to enjoy this freaking chicken? Vicky laughed and said. You're the one talking about Sara. Patrick said. We are clearly not on the same page about this subject. In school room 12B. Oliver looks at Sara and said, stop the study. Sara nervous and asked him. You don't wanna do math? Oliver said. No. Sara said. What? Sara thought and said herself. Oh, crap. He's gonna bring the subway incident, isn't he? Please don't bring it up. Please. Oliver said. You're too distracted and I don't have time for this. Where are your priorities? Do you want to pass your calculus class? Stop playing around like a little kid and take this seriously. Just go and take care of whatever is distracting you from your studies and let's meet when you feel ready for this. Oliver stood and said to Sara. Just text me when you want to meet again. And go out the room. Sara was left wondering what to say to her now. Sara said to herself. But what if you're part of my problems, subway boy? Sara her head down and says herself. At least I get a math break. After being silent for a while, Sara realizes that, he's right. That's it, I'm taking care of one problem at a time. Sara runs towards the notice board, and the Sara newspaper club sees the members' notice. Sara said to herself, "'Cause it's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll. I guess Dad finally fixed his record player." As she entered the apartment, the music was loud. Sara said her dad, "Dad, your music's too loud. You're gonna make all the neighbors come out of their homes and complain." Her dad said, "Oh, hey honey, check it out. I fixed my record player." Sara said, "Dang, I thought I was free when that thing broke." Her dad said, "What are you talking about? These are the classics. AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, Queen. I thought I raised you better than that." Sara said, "Your music's too loud. It disrupts my spirit." Her dad said, "Man, I miss the good old days when I used to rock it in the electric guitar with my mates." Sara said, "What are you talking about? You don't even know how to play the guitar, Dad." Her dad said, "I will now. I just bought this at a yard sale. Now I can play along to my favorite tunes." Sara said, "That sounds terrible." Her dad said, "Check this out. I learned the chorus to Black Sabbath's Iron Man." Sara said, "I'll be in my room." Her dad said, "Oh, come rock with me. I set this up for you." Sara said, "Sorry, Dad. Too much homework." Sara said to herself, "Stupid Rose hasn't texted me back. She probably doesn't think I'm good enough to get into her stupid club. I should have texted Joe instead. Stupid chicken me." Sara thought, "Do I even have time for something like this right now? Maybe Subway Boy Oliver was right. What are my priorities? I should probably just tell him I'm ready to meet tomorrow. Sara decided to text the Subway Boy. She texted, "Hey, sorry about today. Can we meet tomorrow after school?" Oliver replied her, "Okay." Sara said to herself, "Yeah, maybe I shouldn't join the newspaper club. I need to be more responsible with my time. That's it. Even if Rose texts me back, I'll just tell her I don't have time." The mobile phone rings. Sara sees whose message it is. Patrick asking, "Did you finish my homework?" Sara thinks, "Dang, I got excited for a second. Even though I'm not joining that club anymore." Sara replied to Patrick, Yeah, sure. All done, bruh." Patrick replied her, "Do you even know what the homework is?" Sara asks him, "What is it?" Patrick said, 300-word essay for English. Topic: My favorite vacation. Sara said, "Lol, you want me to make up a random vacation for you?" Patrick said, "Yeah, ha ha ha." Sara said, "It's gonna be so good." Patrick said, "You wanna get hotpot before you do my homework?" One more notification came from unknown number on Sara's cell phone. Sara read the message. It was written in the message, "Hi, I heard you're interested in joining the newspaper club." Sara thinks, "That's not Rose's number." Sara replied and asked, "Who this?" And reply comes, "Sorry, this is Joe Young from school." Sara is shocked and happy to read Joe's message. And said to herself, "Wow, Joe Young. Oh my god." Sara said to herself, "What do I do? What do I do?" Joe sent another message. "Sorry, Rose gave me your number since I'm in charge of the applications." Sara replied him, "Hey, no worries. What's up?" Sara doesn't know what to say in the message. Sara delete her message again and again. Sara said to herself, "This is too stupid. How come I forgot how to text like a normal human all of a sudden? Okay, alone too cold. Oh. Too late now. Smiley." Joe said, "Can't wait to read it. Loved your class paper." Sara said to herself, "He liked my dumb class paper." And wink face. "I can't wait either. Gotta start that application essay right away. Oh my god. Dad, I wanna rock with you now." Sara left her mobile on the bed and went to another room. And Patrick's messages were coming on her mobile. After a long time, Sara came and saw her mobile phone. "Bye, Dad. I'm going to school." Her dad said, "Don't be distracted with all those boys in class. Listen to your teacher." Sara said, Yeah, whatever you say, Dad." Sara Lynn. Sara is shocked to see Joe. Joe said, "You live right across. What a coincidence. I can't believe it." Sara said, Yeah, this is so crazy. So crazy. Ha ha. Sara said to herself, "I thought it was Subway Boy who lives across." Joe said, "Well, you wanna walk to school together? I'm just waiting for my little brother. He'll be right out." Sara said, "Aw, you have a kid brother?" Joe said, "Yeah, his name is Oliver." Sara panics when she hears Oliver's name. And said, "Aw, I forgot a thing." Joe said, "Oh, there he is." Sara, "This is my little brother, Oliver." Oliver, Sara goes to our school, too. Oliver said, "What a coincidence, right?" Oliver does not speak to Sara. Sara also doesn't talk to Oliver. Joe said to Sara, He, don't mind him. He gets like that sometimes. You ready to go?" They all walked towards the school together. Sara said to herself, "Oh my god, I can't believe this is happening to me. He lives right across. No way." Sara said to herself, "How the heck are these two even related? They're so different." Joe said, "Man, I just think it's crazy that I was just texting you last night about the newspaper club and now we are neighbors. The world is such a small place." Sara said, "Oh, yeah, it sure is. He. Joe said, "I'm actually so excited about the newspaper club. I used to be in it at my old school." Sara said, "Oh, yeah, here. I have my application essay. Joe said. Oh, awesome. This looks great. Can't wait to read it. I've been trying to convince my brother to join the club with me. Right, Oliver. He keeps saying he's too busy after school with tutoring. But I'll keep trying since he's a pretty good writer, too. Right, Oliver. Oliver said. I can't hear you. Joe said. He can totally hear. He's just too humble. Oliver walks faster and outwalks them. Patrick and his friends are sitting on the road. Patrick looks at Oliver. Patrick said to himself. There goes Subway Boy. Patrick then sees Sara and Joe coming together. Patrick says with a wave of his hand. Sara. Sara and Joe were busy talking. That they don't hear Patrick's voice. And both walked ahead. Rose is also surprised to see Sara and Joe together. Patrick said to himself. What the? Patrick comes in class and looks. Still Sara and Joe are talking to each other. Sara said. Really? No way. I love hot pot too. Joe said. Really? Wow. That's crazy. Patrick said to himself. Everyone loves hot pot. Rose said. And they even, walk to school together. What's the deal with that? Patrick said. Well, maybe they're just, in love with each other, Rose. Rose said. Ah, gross. Don't even say that. You need to control your girlfriend, Patrick. I don't understand how you can let her run loose flirting with other men like that. It's disgusting. Patrick said. Well, lucky for you, she's not actually my girlfriend. So, you and I could always. I'm in your dreams. Rose ignores the Patrick, and met with Joe. Rose spoke. Hi, Joe. Can I talk to you about the NPC? Joe said. Oh, sure. Tammy said to Patrick. I thought Sara was your girlfriend. Patrick said. Oh, no, Tammy. She's not. She's not. I'm single. I'm single. Why won't anyone get it? Tommy is very surprised, and said to herself. You're single. Patrick asks Sara. You never texted me back last night. Also, you did finish my homework right. Sara said. Oh, hey Patrick. Oh my god. Patrick. Guess what happened this morning? Oh my god. You're gonna freak out. The teacher enters class and says. Good morning, students. Please turn in your papers and let's begin class. Patrick said to Sara. Well, Sara turns her attention to Rose and Joe. And said to Patrick. Okay, so this morning. But Patrick asks. No, Sara, my homework. You did finish it, right? Sara said. Your homework. Patrick. I forgot about your homework. Patrick said. No, Sara. No, Sara. Patrick quickly pulls out his notebook. And quickly started writing. My favorite vacation. Disney, Planet. My mom and my little sister ate. Turkey legs. Yum. Sara said. Go. Patrick. The roller coaster, Patrick. And the Mickey rat. Teacher said. Okay, any last papers? Patrick said. Yes. Here I finished. Teacher asked. What's that? Patrick said. It's homework, sir. Teacher said. Sorry, Patrick. I asked for a typed paper, not handwritten. Okay, let's begin class. Patrick gets very angry. Sara calls Patrick. Patrick says angrily. Don't talk to me. Sara said to herself. Oh, crap. Patrick gets angry with Sara and sits in his seat. Sara looks at Patrick as he looks at her. But Patrick ignored her. Sara texts Patrick. Hey, sorry. Patrick doesn't see Sara's message. And ignored her. Sara again texted. Dude, I forgot, okay. Why you so mad? Sorry. That was a stupid bet anyways. But Patrick ignored her text again and again. Patrick looked at Sara angrily and told her not to send the message. Stop it. Sara gestured with her hand. Read it. Patrick said silently. No. Sara said silently. Read it. Patrick. Patrick said silently. No, Sara. Just stop it. Sara said. Okay, fine. It's lunchtime. Patrick also ignores Sara at lunchtime. Sara calls him, but he ignores her and says, "The table is full." Joe said, "Sara, over here." Sara becomes happy. And Patrick is furious to see this. As Sara walks towards Joe, she sees the subway boy sitting there. Sara said to herself, "Subway boy. Always subway boy." Patrick said to Tammy, "Yeah, right. Trader Chicken's gonna have lunch with subway boy." Tammy asks, "Who's subway boy?" Patrick said, "No one. No one. Eat your lunch, Tammy." Tammy said, "Okay." Sara takes her lunch and walks over to Joe. Patrick says angrily, "What the? Is she best friend forever with them now or something?" Tammy said, "They do seem pretty cool." Patrick said, "Please don't say that." Joe said, "Hey, Sara, perfect timing. Come sit with us. We were all just talking about having a newspaper club meeting after school. Do you think you can make it today?" Sara said, "Oh, are you guys all in the newspaper club, then?" Joe said, "Yeah, it's been kinda tough, we didn't get a lot of applications. But we finally formed a small group." Sara said, "Oh, that's nice." Rose said, "Well, I guess people didn't love the idea of having to write an entry essay, so we had to settle with you, Lulu, and these 3 other juniors." Sara said, "Well, I'm in the club too. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I worked so hard on that essay." Sara said to herself, Wait, you're all juniors. All of you." Oliver said, "Yeah, we are. So what? Yeep. Me too. I'm Cordelia, nice to meet ya." "I'm not. I'm whatever I want to be." "Yes, I'm a junior too. Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Mickey Dean." "Well, actually, my name is Michael. But everyone just calls me Mickey or Mikey." "You're Sara, right? I read your paper. Oh my god, y'all are seniors. What an honor to be in y'all's club, seriously. We promise we'll work super, mega, extra, hard. Right, Oliver?" Oliver said, "Yeah, okay." Sara said, "Good to hear. And nice to meet you too." Sara thought and said to herself, "I can't believe it. He was a junior all along. He's just a kid. And to think I was so intimidated this whole time. I still can't believe Joe's my neighbor. He's probably gonna yell at me again for not prioritizing my studies. I mean, technically I'm a senior, so I'm older. Maybe I should be yelling at him, right? Is he gonna be mad I joined the club? Even Patrick thought it was dumb I joined. Oh, right, Patrick. Aw, crap, is he still mad? Hey, Patrick." Patrick ignored her and go out and rush. Sara said, "Patrick, wait. Ah, Lululemon. Wah." Lululemon said, "I wouldn't worry about him if I were you. He'll come around. He always does. Unlike the subway, it stops coming around after midnight, doesn't it?" Sara said, "What did you say?" Lululemon said, "Sara, I'm late for a tarot card reading appointment." Sara said, "Wait, why are you talking about the subway?" Lululemon said, "About what?" Sara shook the Lululemon and said, "About my most embarrassing moment in my life." Lululemon said, "No." Sara said to herself, "Ah, stupid Patrick. If he keeps telling everyone soon even Subway Boy will know." Lululemon said, "Doesn't everyone already know? Secrets are a heavy burden to carry, Sara. But I leave you with a magical freeing spell. Lululemon does some magical tricks." After magical tricks, Lululemon said, "Liberty awaits you, Sara. Ready to go, Tammy Yokohama." Tammy said, "Aha." Sara said, "Wait, what the heck was that all about?" "What do you mean, everyone already knows?" Lululemon said, "Don't look back." Sara said to herself, "She's gotta be kidding, right? Does she mean he knows too?" Sara looks time and said herself, "Oh yeah, I have my newspaper club meeting soon. Crap, I really hope she's just saying nonsense like always. There's no way he remembers all that, right? Aw, crap, I hope she's just kidding around." Sara rushes to the meeting room. And while walking, it stops. Sara sees, Oliver is sitting outside the room. Sara said to herself, there he is, sitting there all mysterious like he knows something. That happened so long ago no one even remembers anymore, subway boy get over it. It's all been forgotten by now, right? There's no reason for me to ever bring that up ever again, right? Right. Fresh start. I'm your senior. Dominance. Sara spoke. Oliver young. Oliver looks Sara and asks her. What? Sara said. Why aren't you going into the meeting yet? Oliver looked at the time and said. It doesn't start for another 5 minutes. Sara said. Right. So, that thing I found out about you. It's just so crazy. I just can't believe this whole time I didn't realize it. Oliver asks her. What? Spill it out. What do you want? Sara said. Geez, Darko Malfoy. Nothing. I just wanted to say it's crazy that you're a junior. I just didn't realize that. Oliver said. So what? So dramatic. Of all the things you found out about me today, that's the shocking one. You thought I was a senior or something. Sara said. I mean, they were all shocking but I'm a senior and they assigned a junior to tutor me. So, that's kinda weird, right? Oliver said. Well, I guess it must be pretty shocking. You must be super embarrassed to find out you're being tutored by a junior that happens to be your next door neighbor. Sara loudly said. Well, what's embarrassing about that? Why would I even be? Oliver said. Really? You're not embarrassed, Sara. Surely you have reason enough to be embarrassed about something. Sara said. What? What are you talking about? Are you talking about be a bump? What? Sara said to herself. What is Oliver talking about? Can I kiss you? That I said it. Sara said. Why are you starting? So awkward. Listen, what I meant is that because I'm a year older you need to be more respectful, okay? Oliver said. Are you being serious? You think I'm the problem here? Sara said. I mean just 'cause sometimes you do come off a bit rude. But I guess we both have to work on. Oliver turns and walks away and says. Maybe when you beat me at math we'll see. Sara said. Hey you. See, that's exactly the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Oliver looks and said. Respect needs to be earned, Sara. It has nothing to do with age. And Oliver tried to open the door. And said. Oh, right. Did you want to reschedule our tutoring for later since we have this meeting? Sara said. Are you kidding? No, I don't want to reschedule our tutoring. Ever. Oliver said. All right. Good luck with your test. Sara said. Fine. Whatever. Oliver tries to open the door but it won't open. Sara says seeing this. What are you doing? Just open it. Oliver said. It's locked you idiot. Sara said. Don't call me an idiot. I'm your senior, remember? Oliver said. The door is still locked. Stop reaching. Sara said. Then just knock, you stupid subway boy. Oliver said to Sara. Freeze. Lululemon is watching and said. You two are trying to open the wrong door. Are you coming to the meeting? The Kiss Bet anime story is continued. All the members reach the meeting room. Sara said to herself. I can't even focus. Geez, what kind of expression is that? You totally knew this whole time, didn't you? Gosh, I feel like an idiot. Good thing he's not my tutor anymore. Mari spokes. Okay, everyone. So to be clear, Joe and his little brother Oliver are assigned the school festival. Lululemon, you're still good with horoscopes. Lululemon said. Always. Mari said. Great. Cordelia and Mickey, you guys all good with graphics and editing? Mickey said. Yes, ma'am. Forever and ever prepared. You can expect nothing but the best from these humble, young, naive, yet hard-working juniors. We promise that through sweat and blood, and tears of blood we shall deliver. We shall conquer. We shall be victorious. We shall always. Rose said. Okay. Got it. Thanks Mickey Dean. Let's move on, please. Mickey said. Yes my queen. I'll shut up now. Mari said. Okay. Everyone's all clear with your assignments, then. Oliver and Joe other members said. No doubt but Sara thinks something. Sara said. Wait a second. Oh, sorry. I still don't have an assignment. Oliver and Joe looked at Sara in shock. Rose said. Sara. Always so clueless. Why didn't you say anything before? Sara mumbled. Wasn't aware I was the one in charge here. Rose said. It's fine. We're just gonna have to rearrange the whole thing so that we can fit in another article or something for you. Sara. Joe said. We don't have to do all that. Sara, why don't you just join Oliver and I at the school festival? We could definitely use the extra help. Rose was very surprised to hear Joe's words. Sara, Rose and Oliver, everyone spoke at once. No, Joe said. Why not? Sara said. I mean, I would have to get my dad's permission. We could figure it out. Mari said. Well, of course. I'm sure we'll figure something out. Sara. You think so? I mean, it depends on my grades, but. Rose said. Wait. Is there really need for that? Lululemon. Weren't you complaining about needing more people for your spells section? Lululemon said. Never. Mari said. Actually, Rose, I think the festival might be our best option. I hear it's gonna be big this year. We only have Oliver and Joe going. But I think the more people, the better. Rose said. Fine. Then, I guess if we need more people, I'll have to join the school festival team too. Lululemon, looks like you're gonna have to take care of those spells yourself. Lululemon said. Always. Rose said. It's settled, then. It'll be Oliver, Sara, and Joe and I. Everyone okay with that? Joe said. Sounds great to me. We can all go together. Sara and Oliver remained silent. Rose said. Can't wait. Vicky said. So, Subway Boy for sure remembers it was you, then. Sara said. Yeep. His reaction was so obvious. Which probably means he knew all along but never said anything. Vicky said. Well, that's a jerky move. Why didn't he never say anything? Sara said. Yeah, who cares? I guess I never said anything either. All I know is I need a new tutor now. Vicky said. And Patrick can't help you. He's good at math, right? Sara said. I told you we're still fighting. That's why you have to help me study. Vicky said. Fine, I'll help you. So, how long do you plan on fighting with him for? Sara said. It's not like I wanted to make him mad, Vicky. Besides, I already tried apologizing. I don't know what's gotten into him lately. But, whatever. I'm not really worried. I've got bigger problems right now. Vicky said. Well, at least you get to go to the school festival with Joe. That's good news, right? Sara said. That's true. Vicky said. Oh, yeah, I gotta run to the store real quick. Mom asked me to grab some stuff for her. Sara said. But Vicky, I have so much to study for my test. Vicky said. Then just wait here, Sara. I'll be quick. Sara sits and says to herself. Wait here and do what? Vicky goes inside the store to buy things. Meanwhile, Joe was also buying things. Vicky was sitting looking at some things. Joe was coming in on seeing things. His eyes did not fall on Vicky sitting down. He crashed with Vicky. And fell down. Vicky said. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Joe said. No, it was totally my bad. I should have been looking where I was going. Hey, you go to Brookside High School. Let me help you up. Vicky said. Thanks. Joe said. Yeep, I do. I used to attend that school before I moved here. Vicky said. Really? Who was your teacher? Joe said. Swartz and Vasquez. Vicky said. Oh, they're both so funny. Joe said. Yeah, they are. Sara was waiting for Vicky outside the store. Sara said to herself. What's taking her so long? Sara looks at Vicky from outside the store. And said to herself. Who's she talking to? Sara goes inside the store. And says to Vicky. Vicky, come on. Vicky said. Oh, Sara, sorry I'm taking so long. I'll be right out. Joe said. Sara, hey. Sara says. Joe. Vicky said. Wait, you know my cousin Sara. Joe says. Sara's in my class. Vicky says. Really? Joe says. Yeah, she's your cousin. Vicky says. Yeah. Sara thought and said to herself. He's here. What? No way. So many connections. I know, it's so crazy. Joe said to Vicky. Oh, I forgot I was making dinner for my little brother. I gotta go soon. Vicky said. Oh, okay. Sara thought and said to herself. What? Subway Boy can't cook. That's cute. Joe said. Good to meet you, Vicky. Vicky said. You too. Joe said. Oh, By the way, Sara and I are going to our school festival next week. You should come too. Vicky said. That sounds great. Thank you. Joe said. Okay, see you later girls. Vicky said. Yes, bye, bye. Sara said too. Bye Joe. Vicky said. You're right. Joe is super cute. Sara said. See, I told you. Hurry up. Let's study so we can go to the festival. Sara asks. Vicky, you told me you're good at math. Vicky said. I am good at math. It's not my fault you are not understanding anything. Sara said. I can't do this anymore. We are not getting anywhere. Vicky said. I should be the one complaining here. Sara, it's so late. And we've only managed to study 3/4 of the way. Sara said. My life is over. Now I'll never get to go to the school festival with Joe and get my first kiss from him. I'm going to die of virgin lips. Never having known the sweet feeling of his tender soft lips against mine. Why oh, why did I have to be born bad at math? Vicky said. Quit being so dramatic. And isn't this supposed to just be a practice test tomorrow? It won't even count towards your final grade, so who cares? Sara said. For the 1000th time, Victoria. Did you not hear my father when he said I would never be let out again if I failed one more test? Vicky said. Sorry, Sara. It's just so late. I gotta head back home now. I've marked all formulas on the study sheet for you. If you at least memorize those you should be okay. Sara said. But Vicky. Wait. Vicky said. Sorry, Sara. It might be a good idea to make amends with Oliver. Even if it is a bit awkward, he seems to be a really good tutor from what everyone says. Good luck girl. Sara feels very tired. She says to herself. Crap, will I ever learn? Next morning, Patrick walks to school whistling alone. He whistles and goes to the locker room. Oliver was already in the locker room. Patrick went see the Oliver, he says. Oh, hey, Patrick said to herself. It's Sara's tutor. Oliver looks at Patrick, and says hi. Patrick says. So, you're here early. Trying to avoid someone. Oliver said. What? Oh, no. Patrick said. Really? Hey, I know Sara's your neighbor. Don't worry, she just kinda tells me everything. Although right now we're going through a bit of a rough patch. She was supposed to do a favor for me but she totally forgot so then I got screwed over. I'm trying to figure out a way to make amends with her. But I don't wanna just let it go, you know. I'm kinda hoping she'll realize it on her own and then apology. You know what I mean. Oliver said. And you're telling me all this because. Patrick said. Well, since you're now her tutor and you guys spend way too much time together. I was hoping maybe you could talk to her and. Oliver said. Nope. No way. No. Stop trying to involve me in your weird relationship problems. I've got enough going on already. You figure it out on your own. Patrick said. Wait, what? What do you mean? When else have we ever been involving you, dude? Oliver said. I'm not an idiot. I remember you two from that night at the subway station. Patrick said. What? Patrick said to himself. Why? What? How? I mean, what subway station? I've never been there. Oh well, I guess he knew all along. There's nothing to do now. Ha ha. Oh boy. Can't wait to see the look on Sara's face when she finds out about this. Not that I'd be the one to tell her. That kind of information might make her upset. And she's seen way too upset and distracted by the wrong kinds of things lately. Wait, not that I want her to only worry about me but, like. Oh gosh, what's wrong with me? What I am thinking. I'm so stupid. Who cares? Patrick, when opened the locker. The locker was full letters. All the leaders fell down. And Patrick also collapsed in fear. Patrick said to himself. What the? Love letters. It's not even Valentine. Who's this from? Anonymous lover. Who the? Later that day, calculus pre-test grades result is posted on the notice board. All students are checking their results. Oh my god, we did so well on that exam. So easy. Sara is secretly watching everyone. Sara said to herself. Easy. Maybe I also did okay. Sara goes to check her result. Sara searches for her name in the list. Sara cries after seeing her result. Sara says to herself. This is the worst grade I've ever gotten. Why is it so low? What was I thinking? Vicky's a terrible tutor. At least Subway Boy knew what he was talking about. I should cover this up. It might hurt someone's eyes. In class, Patrick is thinking about letters. Patrick said to himself, no, it couldn't be her. She told me I was ugly yesterday. Tammy. No, she totally hates me. That girl over there. Nope, I don't even know her name. Hannah. Clearly in love with that guy. Sara. Maybe she was trying to apologize. Unless she's still in love with me. Patrick saw Sara is telling something to Joe. Patrick said to himself, wait, is she crying? Joe's saying to Sara, hey, it's okay. We'll figure something out. Hey, why don't you come over tonight and I can? Patrick says, slamming his hand on the table. Fine, Sara. Stop crying, will you? I have finally decided to forgive you for everything you've ever done to me. Sara sees Patrick, and jumped and hugged Patrick, and said to Patrick, Patrick, you're finally talking to me again. I'm sorry for being a total jerk to you. Oh my god, you have no idea what I've been through. And I wanted to call you yesterday but then I didn't wanna bother you. Because you know how you can get in. Then I was studying for that test and I freaking sucked so bad and failed of course. Patrick thought and said to himself. What is happening? My hands. Stop. Patrick said to Sara. Okay. Calm down, Sara, geez. You don't have to yell. I got it, I forgive you, okay. I was just curious to know why this guy's making you cry. Unless you were actually crying for me, which is totally cool. Joe said. Oh, no. She wasn't. I didn't. Sara, I was just about to offer helping you study tonight at my house. Do you think that might help? Sara said. Really? You'd do that for me? Joe said. Of course. Whatever it takes to get your dad's permission to come to the school festival. Sara said. Wow, really? Thank you so much. Patrick said to himself. What's happening? Joe said. Yes, of course, Sara. Sara said. I'll come over tonight, then. Last of all, Oliver checked his result. Oliver looks the result list and said to himself. There was a sticker in front of Sara's name. Oliver said to himself. What's with the sticker? Oliver peels off the sticker. And said to himself. That dork. How did she do so bad? First day of high school. All students are talking with another. Sara said to herself. Oh my god, I hate high school already. I don't even know anyone yet but it sucks. Sara's class fellow said. You're very negative, Sara. Just think of all the boys you'll get to date one day. Sara said. Yeah right. Impossible. I'm too short, and half these girls look like they're in freaking college. Sara's class fellow said. That's 'cause they're seniors, Sara. You'll get there. Someone made a paper ball in the class and threw it towards the Sara. Sara looked around in surprise. Who threw this? A boy pointed out with a wink. Read it. Go ahead. His friend said. You, what you do with my paper, dude? Sara said to herself. Read it. Her class fellow said. Don't read it, Sara. Sara opened the paper and read it. It was written on paper. Do you want to be my girlfriend? Sara gasped and said to herself. What the? Boy laughs. Ha. His friend said. No, not for you. Pass it down. Boys making fool and laugh. Sara said to herself. What the heck? Sara passed the paper. Here, that weird guy's in love with you. Lunch time. Sara looks around to see which table to sit on. Sara said to herself. I guess Lululemon found her new crowd. Sara turned to other table. And goes to a table and says them. Hi, can I sit here? Girls said. Okay. The same strange boy walks towards Sara's table laughing. Winked and said. Ladies. Sara said to herself. It's weird kid. Boy said to Sara. Hey. First day of high school is rough, huh? Sara said. Oh. It's fine, I guess. Boy said. Oh, come on. It's not going that badly. At least you have a new boyfriend on your first day already. Boy laughs ha. Okay. You totally don't. Sara said. That wasn't even funny. Boy said. Oh, lighten up. I'm just joking around. It was kind of funny, come on. Sara looks at him in surprise. And said to herself. He's so obnoxious. He doesn't stop laughing. The boy said to himself. Ha, what a good laugh. After school, Sara sees who I should go home with now. Sara saw Lululemon, who was talking with her friends. Sara walks home alone. Someone's voice is heard from behind. Hey, you. Sara turns and looks back. The boy said, watch out for stalker boys asking you out on your way home. Ha ha ha. Sara said, you mean, you freak. Sara said to herself, the heck is wrong with that guy? Sara said, hey, what's your name? The boy said, what? Sara said, I said, what's your stupid name? The boy said, oh, it's Patrick. Sara said, well, shut up Patrick. And turned around and walked away. The boy laughs out loud. Sara feels happy. Sara said to herself, despite our strange encounters we somehow ended up becoming friends. Really close friends. But somehow after you spend way too much time with someone, you kinda start to like them. As more than just friends. But you know what they say. Girls mature faster than boys. Is that why? Patrick said, how do I say this? Sorry Sara. Sara said, it's fine. Sometimes to lighten the tension, you just gotta pretend some things were never said. Patrick said, what? You cut all your hair off. It looks great. Sara said, thanks. And that, my friends, is how you become best friends. Patrick thought, just kidding, that's just how you put yourself in the friend zone for life. Patrick walks alone and thinks about all these things. Patrick said to himself, crap, what the heck am I supposed to do now? Sara knocked on the door and said to herself, please don't be Oliver, please don't be Oliver. Door opens. Sara, hi. Joe said, come on in. It's so convenient that you live right across the hall. Sara said, yeah, so nice. Joe said, hey Oliver, I invited Sara over to study some math. We'll just be on the kitchen table. Oliver said, okay, do you want me to leave? Joe said, no, stay. We won't be loud, will we Sara? Sara said, I mean, we'll probably be talking, right? Oliver said, okay, I'll leave. Joe said, no bro. Just stay, we'll just be studying. Sara said, I do have a lot of questions, though, so I might be talking a lot. Joe said, oh, do you? Okay, well maybe. Sara said, no but it's fine, he should stay. We'll just whisper or something. Joe said, I don't want you to be uncomfortable asking questions though. Sara said, right, well, maybe he should. Oliver said, whatever. It's fine. I have earphones, do whatever you want. Sara said to herself, why does he want to stay? Joe said, okay, let's get started, then. Sara said, okay. Again, thanks so much for your help, Joe. I was gonna find a new tutor so it's so nice of you to step in. Joe said, oh, of course. Math can get really hard sometimes. We just gotta keep trying. I think if we focus really well tonight we'll be prepared for the next test. That way we can just relax and have fun at the school festival, you know. Sara said, yeep. I'm excited to work as a team with all of you. Joe said, you're bringing your cousin, what's her name again? Sara said, Vicky. Yeah, of course. Joe said, right, Vicky. Great, cool. Okay. Let's do this, then. Sara said, okay. So, I had a question about these problems right here. Joe said, okay, let's see. Sara said to herself, how did I get so lucky? Just look at him. He's so perfect and nice. This moment would have been perfect if Subway Boy wasn't always there to ruin it. Joe said, yeah. So these problems are actually kinda hard. Is it like this? Oh no, hang on. Erase. I got it wrong. Wait, like this. It's wrong again. Hey Oliver, come here real quick. How do you solve this type of problem, again? Sara said to herself, what? No. I didn't sign up for this. Oliver came and asked. Chapter 23. Okay, did you try this and that? Joe said, oh, well mostly that and thaw. But isn't supposed to be this and that and that. Oliver said, no, it's like this. Joe said, oh, I see. Sara thinks and said to herself, I guess I should have expected something like this to happen. The mobile phone rings. Joe said, oh, it's Mom. Hang on a sec. Yes, Mom. I know. Calm down, you're okay. Joe turned and said, Oliver, could you help her out with that section real quick? I won't be long. Yes, I know Mom. Don't worry. Sara said. You don't have to do it if you don't want. Oliver said. Why? You want to fail another test. Sara said. What? What test? I didn't fail any. Oliver shows her that sticker, which was pasted in front of her name. When Sara looks at the sticker, surprised. Sara said. What? Where did you get that? Oliver said. I found it in public property. Plus it's stuck to my pencil. This is mine now. Sara said. What? Fine. Whatever. You keep that. And, yes, I suck at math, but you already know that. Oliver said. Okay, then let's study. Sara asks. Really? Oliver said. Yes, come on. Sara said. Well, thanks, Oliver. Oliver said. Yeah, okay. No problem. Sara said. Just don't yell at me, okay? Oliver asking. Who's yelling? Okay, well, this section's not that hard. Okay, here's an easy one. Sara said to herself. He's in a good mood today. Maybe. Oliver said. Okay, so you multiply these two, right? Sara said. Right. Oliver said. You're already stuck. I just said one thing. Sara said. No, wait. No, I want to talk about something. Oliver thinks a little and says. Okay. Oliver said. What night? I've never taken the subway. Sara said. Oh, cut it out. I know that you remember me, okay? Oliver said. Yeah, well, I guess it is hard to forget that random stranger coming up to your face asking to kiss you out of nowhere. Sara said. Okay, I get it. It was super weird. But listen, I am perfectly good, reasonable explanation. Kind of. So, you know my friend Patrick, right? Oliver said. Yes, were you trying to make him jealous or something? Sara asks. What? You're sure talking tonight? No, let me finish. So, Patrick. Well, because of never. I can't believe I'm telling you this. So I've never kissed a boy yet and he just dared me to go and ask you. A random stranger. So I could get it over with. And I know that was completely stupid of me to agree to. Obviously a first kiss should be something more special. But then suddenly, I was doing it. And, oh gosh, I'm sorry, Oliver. I shouldn't have, 'cause now you think I'm a total weirdo. Which is, totally fine I guess. Oliver said. Okay, fine. Let's do this, then. Sara said. Oh, right. Study. Sorry. Oliver said. No, your first kiss. Come on. Sara said. What? Oliver said. You said you just wanted to get it over with, right? Oliver tries to kiss her. Sara gets shocked and worried. Sara says. Wait. And tries to slap him. No. That was stupid of me that one time. I wasn't thinking. I don't want it to happen like this. I really actually want this to be with someone special. With someone that I really like. Oliver laughed haha. Sara thought. Why is he laughing? Oliver said. Relax Sara. I was just kidding. Gotcha. Oliver laughs. Sara pushes him and says. Why are you laughing at me? So embarrassing. After I told you all of that. Oliver said. Hey, you did the same thing to me, remember? That was just payback. Sara said. But. Oliver laughed. Sara said. What? Stop. Sara said to herself. Dimples. Joe said. Okay, I'm back. Mom's just having another quick panic attack about the wedding. She keeps calling me every 5 minutes. Sara asked. Your mom is getting married. Joe said. Yeah, she left my dad a while ago and now is remarrying for the 3rd time. I know it's kinda crazy. Sara said. Oh, I'm sorry. That must be hard. Joe said. No, it's fine. It's just kind of hard when we're all spread out like this. So, I heard you guys laughing. What's so funny? Did you finally get this section figured out? Oliver said. Nope. Oliver stand up and said. Woo, it was way too difficult. Joe said. Really? Oliver said. Yes. Maybe you'll be able to figure it out better. Sorry. Okay, bye. Sara said to herself. What the heck was that all about? Who would have thought Subway Boy was such a flirt? Wait, so is he gonna be my tutor again? Wait, Geez, what am I taking? I have Joe now, stupid. Joe said. Huh, is it really that hard? Huh, let's see if this works. Oh, I finally figured it out. Look, Sara, this is how you do this. Sara said. Oh, yes, you're so smart, Joe. Great job, Sara said to herself. Thank goodness you're smart. Patrick was confused about the gifts and love letters. Patrick said to himself, who can send this? Could they actually be from Sara? I think Sara loves me with all her heart. She was hugging me and crying because I was angry. Oh, gosh, don't think about that. Patrick picks up a gift package and opens it. Chocolates. As soon as Patrick picks up the chocolate and eats it, he is surprised. And said to himself, what? It's my favorite mint chocolate truffle. Patrick's mom entered the room and says, Patrick, dinner is ready. Patrick's mom asked, Patrick, are those love letters from girls? Patrick says nervously, Mom, can't you knock? Mom says, I can't believe this. Someone's in love with my beautiful son. Can't stop staring at those ocean eyes. Love, your secret admirer. Oh, you do have a beautiful ocean, my son. Patrick said, Mom, can you please not read that out of loud? At that moment, Patrick's father enters the room and says, Sandy, leave our son alone. Don't you see? He's probably busy with. Sandy said, oh, Bob, look, our son has a secret admirer. Patrick's dad said, son, what pride? Patrick said, what? Patrick's sister kicked the door and says, what's all this weeping and yelling about in here? Her mom says, look, Pearly, your big brother has a secret lover. Patrick's sister said, oh, are these from Sara? Patrick said, what? They are from Sara. Patrick's dad said, son, when a man finally decides to love a woman. Patrick's sister spoke, it's mint chocolate. Patrick's favorite. His mom spoke, they are in love. His sister said, so cute. His mom said, oh finally. I always thought those two were made for each other. Patrick's sister asked, how long you two been dating for, Pat? Patrick said loudly, no, what are you all talking about? Why are all being so weird? Of course they're not from Sara. Leave me alone. What the heck? Patrick kicked the door and said, I'm running away. Bye. Sandy said, but I made dinner. Patrick goes to Vicky's hotel and says to Vicky that I have something to show you. Vicky said, fine Patrick. You got 5 minutes. Patrick dumped the love letters on table. Vicky got confused after seeing so many love letters. Vicky said, thanks. Patrick said, know what Vicky? These appeared in my school locker the other day and I need you to help me figure out who they're from. Vicky asked, and what are you coming to me for? How am I supposed to know that? I don't even go to your school. Patrick said, well because, I don't know. Just help me figure this out. Vicky got thoughtful after listening to Patrick's words.